Hi, everyone, and welcome to GreenBiz Studio. I'm Dylan Siegler, and I lead corporate sustainability at GreenBiz Group. We're here with Cassandra Garber, Vice President of ESG at Dell Technologies. Welcome, Cassandra.
Thank you so much. So glad to be here.
Now, Cassandra's ESG team is responsible for developing the circular economy strategy at Dell Technologies, and we're excited to have the chance to pick Cassandra's brain about that today. Before we jump in, I'd love you to tell me a little bit about what ESG and sustainability really mean to Dell.
I would love to explain that to you. The first thing I'll say is it's just kind of funny that we're all asking this question because on our journey to all become real corporate functions, I think we have matured so much, but it's just kind of funny to say how many functions have to explain what their function means. But here's where we are, and I love that we're real and recognized now in ways we haven't been before. For us, sustainability and ESG is all about driving to our purpose as a company. So our purpose at Dell Technologies is using technology to drive human progress. So the way we think about it is there is probably no better group within the company to be able to see the extent to which we are actually driving human progress, the impacts, the outcomes of how humanity is evolving and how we can impact that. So from a big picture, that's how we think about it. Now, in our day-to-day activities, that's when you have to get much more cleaner and crisper about what does that mean. So for us, it is all about, we have pillars, we have priorities, we have performance, and we have partners. We did not intentionally use all P's. It just kind of happened naturally that way. But and I'll do this quickly, but we have 4 pillars within this space. So they're around advancing sustainability, cultivating inclusion, transforming lives, and upholding trust. And we have those pillars because this space is expanding so much that there are so many things that fit within ESG or sustainability that we need a home. We need a framework for how we think, organize, run, and manage those things. So that's what our pillars are. Then we have priorities, because what those pillars don't do is give us clarity of where we intend to drive leadership, innovation, put resources, partner with our customers and others. So our priorities are around climate action, circular economy, digital inclusion, and our inclusive workforce. And of course, there's performance. We have our 2030 goals that we're responsible for driving, managing, and all of those things. And then partnerships. So that's a big part of our strategy is, of course, internally, but much more so, how are we partnering externally to deliver on all of these things?
So, Cassandra, that is a big swath of topics for one team to cover. I'd love to jump into the topic of the day, one of the things that your team is accountable for, which is developing circular economy strategy. So, what does circularity mean to Dell Technologies?
Yeah, we talk about a couple of things. We talk about being a circular company, and then we talk about the circular economy. So what role are we playing overall in creating a more circular economy? But in terms of being a circular company ourselves, we think about material use. So we have some really, really interesting materials, sustainable materials that we're thinking about, everything from bioplastics to ocean-bound plastics to castor beans, even recycled copper, where we were the first in the industry to start using recycled copper in our products. So there's material use is, of course, a really important component of this. Then we have the products that we build. So how are we thinking differently about circular products? For us, that is material to us because we work in an industry that has a tremendous amount of e-waste. So one of the main ways we think about circularity in our products and circular design is repairability, modularity, recyclability, of course, disassembly, those kinds of things. So we have this really phenomenal, it was called Concept Luna. It's moved to Project Luna. And I love that, this is not a new concept to GreenBiz because we've talked about it before, but we are now in this really cool state with this circular design where we've moved from it being like the concept car of a circular laptop to how are we taking the learnings from that and making everything we create more modular, whether it's servers and networking and all of the other aspects of technology. How are we taking our circular learnings and applying it to everything we do? So that's from a product standpoint, of course. And then taking that circularity to our customers, the next piece of it is our take back program. So we, of course, have a lot going on in this space. So we have a commitment that by 2030, for every product we sell, we will take one back. And it is not a Dell specific product, it's all of them. It's anybody's product. We will take it back. And that's an important, kind of commitment that we've made. It's a big, bold commitment that we've made to do that. But even right now, 95% of the laptops that we take back, we find a home for. They have a new life. There's only 5% that then need to go into recycling and disassembly and repurpose for other things. But we're able to find another life for things. And this is a really important part of our circularity strategy, is to go all the way from what goes into our products with our materials, how we are thinking about our products, and then what's our customer experience when it comes to how they're using the product and giving it back.
That's so exciting. So Project Luna, does that have to do with a moonshot? Is that the wordplay?
Like any innovation company, we have to name things, and so there's a whole bit of creative story around how the team came up with the name. But yes, there is a connection there.
I love it. So you've given us a really good sense of the journey of materials management at Dell and your extended producer responsibility. So how are you actually tracking your work in this space?
Oh, yeah. So we have 2030 goals, just like most companies have 2030 goals, or some targets that they've set in some timeline. So we, of course, have that. So I mentioned our one-to-one take back. So we are tracking that one-to-one goal. We track our packaging as well. So we've done really, really fantastic things in terms of recycled, renewable content in our packaging. For all of our entire portfolio, we are well on track to 100% recycled content in packaging. We have a few other goals in this space in terms of how we are tracking it. We have we lovingly refer to it as the ESG OMG, and yes, that acronym has another use, but for us, it's our operating model and governance. Intentionally named that way, yes, but it is all about how we are rethinking how we drive to these targets in the company. So I think a lot of us who work in this space are now at a point of, how do you make this real? How do you hold other teams accountable? How do you make sure that we are going to meet the targets that we've set? How do you support and enable innovation beyond what your team is responsible for and can do? So that's where the biggest thing we're doing is not just the goals we put in place, tracking against them, reporting transparently against them, but how are we actually making this a meaningful part of how we drive circularity across the company and become a more circular company is a broader model than just the targets themselves.
Absolutely. So working to integrate that into your operating plan sounds like a big job. And you're already looking at this end-to-end circular journey for all of what you're doing at Dell Technologies. You gotta tell us about what the challenges are to achieving this. How do you get your head around that, Cassandra?
Yeah, there's plenty of challenges. I think there's challenges that come into supply of even the materials that we want and need to use, and how do you overcome those kinds of things. There's challenges in business models, rethinking how we have supplied products to think about a more circular approach to our products, including the life cycles, the lifetimes of some of our products, is a significant business model change that we are looking at as a company. New offerings, so there's challenges in what does this look like from a services perspective? Is that a different model in how we support our customers and all of that? So those are our challenges that we're working through internally. But from my perspective, the biggest challenge is not about becoming a circular company. It's about becoming a circular economy. So the biggest challenge is working in that space that not everybody is really, really good at yet, which is how do we have shared goals? How do we have shared programs with our customers, with communities that we work in, with governments across the globe as they're thinking about these things, bringing regulations in as regulations are coming forward, and especially the circularity space in Europe, we're seeing a lot of activity in this space. So it's that circular economy is by far the biggest challenge, that kind of piece about partnering to get these things done, because it is so systemic and it requires that whole ecosystem. So we of course have a number of things. We've got pilots here and there where we're trying things in specific communities, and we have consortiums that we're a part of and all of that. But I think getting to that point of the shared goals and the shared commitments with a broad set of different types of organizations is kind of the thing that we all have an opportunity to do a better job of.
Great. So it's good to hear that you're seeing it across the entire landscape.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Cassandra, for joining us. I've been speaking with Cassandra Garber, VP of ESG at Dell Technologies. We hope to see everyone again soon on another GreenBiz Studio.
Thank you.